Okay, so my name's Robert Nolan. We live in Beeville, Texas. We have our distillery is Coastal Bend Distilling. Underneath that, we have Live Oak Vodka, which is why we're here today. My cousin Kenneth and I, and a buddy of ours that was a college roommate, had the crazy idea one day. Hey, we're looking for things that businesses where there was a large upside to it. That's why you go into business in the first place. And even though we had no idea what we were doing, we decided that for some reason we settled on opening a distillery, and we haven't looked back since. Everybody wants to get rich quick these days, and especially with social media, influencers, and this whole idea that you can take some pictures and make $1 million. 100% of the time doesn't work. It's just the little one. But with us, make sure that you're not empty in the bank for an idea or for something. There needs to be something concrete. You need to know, okay, well, if I'm spending this, how much can I make? Or it's simple. You don't need lots of money to do anything. But I think really research and just passion and not being scared to work. Talk to any of these guys in here, I'm sure, and even yourself, you gotta, before you can make the money and have employees and these big dreams of luxurious things, you're gonna be cleaning toilets probably and doing all those other things, which we all have had to do. So our grandparents, myself and my cousin Kenneth, are from Beeville, so we spent a lot of time there as children, and so it did have a familiar feel to it. At the time, there was already Enchanted Rock and Dripping Springs and Cinco and all these other vodka distilleries in the area that had time and a lot more money than we did. And so we, what can we do? So we decided not to do this in San Antonio, being San Antonio boys, but staying somewhere relatively close. Also, it's a good central location. Houston's 2.5 hours one way, Laredo's an hour and a half, 2 hours another way, Corpus, San Antonio. So it really is a crossroads area, which for distribution, we're learning does make things a little easier. We're kind of in the middle of everywhere we want to be. Dallas is kind of an outlier for us at this point. But we want also, being born and raised in a big city, we were looking for something a little different. Another reason that took us from San Antonio to Beeville. We're able to make a big influence, we have a lot of influence in our community, and we can make a change. We could day one. Everybody who works at our distillery on site does something for the community. Whether it's we've served on school boards, Chamber of Commerce boards. I coach youth sports. My cousin does as well. I was PTO president for the Episcopal school. All of these things, we expect that from everybody. We didn't just want to move in and use this small town to put on our bottle. Like that, we are the small town. We own businesses there. We own homes there. We do as much as we can. We sponsor everything we possibly can, and it's not even half of it. We don't even put our name on it. It's just we want the people to know we're there to help. We're there to support them, and we've in turn they've done the same. We get pictures of people from our little town all over the world traveling, taking bottles, wearing Live Oak Vodka T-shirts, and it really means a lot to us. People want to know you're going to be there for them, and sometimes it is just showing up. Sometimes it is lending a helping hand. Sometimes it is sponsoring an event. There's all these things it could be, but I know firsthand, growing up, working in the business, this business in particular, in the service industry, that loyalty means a lot. And the same can be said in communities. Like I said, one of the reasons we moved to that small town was we wanted to go somewhere we'd make a difference. We wanted to be someplace that we had a voice. And even coming in and offering a couple jobs, starting off or doing these things, that made a difference in our town. And even sponsoring softball leagues and doing all these things, it matters. And I think people realize, especially these days where a dollar means so much to everybody. We were talking about this earlier. It's not a time of luxury necessarily. People are struggling, but if they're going to spend their money, I think they're going to spend it on somebody that's spending money on them. People that are giving their time to them. So we try to do that. It's a give and take. We want to be there for the community. We want to be there for people that sell our product as well, because this is our family business. This is how we send our kids to school and how we do all these things. And so I think once people realize how important it is to us, they realize how serious we take it, then generally they'll jump on board. The big plans for 2025 is we want to grow. We have, nobody wants to hear numbers, but we've done very well this year, year to year from last year, year over year, and it's just to continue to grow. I've shared with you personally some numbers and stuff, and it's great. You're never where you want to be, but we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer. I want our product to be a household name. I want, when people think of Texas vodkas, I want there to think of us. And I think that there is an opportunity because of the way that things are changing, the climate's changing. Some of the larger companies that will remain nameless aren't supporting the community like they used to, aren't supporting the business and the industries like they used to. And good for us, because that's leaving some room for us to get in there and to show what we can do. We have some very, very big things coming that I can't speak about yet, but I will say that 2025 is going to be a very, very big year for Live Oak Vodka. I think a good way to maintain that relationship with the community is, and especially for us, is we came from very humble beginnings. Our family, we even to be where we are outside of this business, we're very lucky, and we know that. And somebody gave us a chance at some point, and we have not forgotten that. I think when you come from nothing and get something, the way to keep it is to remember that you came from nothing. And we definitely, we are community first. We are loyalty. Like I said, loyalty means everything to us. Knowing who we can call on, taking care of our people, and it really, I think, doing what we continue to do that has got us to this point. It would be silly not to continue that. But we are, we are community first, and it's really, I think, starting to show. It's starting to separate us from the pack a little, because there is a lot of people in our space, and especially in Texas, there's the big boys, and then there's about 15, 20 of us that are all kind of fighting for the same stuff, and that has come down to a lot of times where the reason we are getting the account or we are getting certain things is because of that, because we are there, we're present, or they see us at a charity event, and some of those things, like I said, we don't even have our name on, but they'll see me, and they'll know why. Some of it was out of laziness, but it's become my thing now, and now I can't shave even if I wanted to. I think SpeedRailz for the industry is a great thing. I think and what this could do for the industry could be huge. My brother, my older brother, when I was growing up, he was old school flair bartender that was going off to all these competitions in Vegas, and he's a bit older than me, and I had no idea what any of this meant. So we've kind of come full circle, because now we get to help with some of this stuff. I am by no means a fast bartender. There's no flair, there's no nothing. I am pretty good at, if I get some time, in our little town, I actually won a margarita making contest about 2 weeks ago, so I'm the local champ. But I think this stuff's great, because I think people in situations like this, they can see truly what goes into a cocktail. They can see the work involved, the layers to things. You could even argue that it speaks to getting the most bang for your buck these days, and all of these things where they realize, there's a difference between, can I get a Jack and Coke, or can I get this craft cocktail made with craft products and, handmade elements, all these things to it. I think that it really is kind of giving people an inside look at these, or what things they take for granted when they're just sitting at a restaurant and order this drink, and, oh man, this was great, and now they can come to things like this, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't know they did all that. I think I'm a fan of it. I think it's really a great thing, and it's been a great platform for us. Also, I'm glad to be a part of it, glad that we could help in any way. But no, we're looking forward to tonight and what the future holds too.